Welcome back to the next part of this video. Just to catch up on where you are, we created this basic Ionic Vue.js app using the AWS Amplify component. So I have my login here, which I did in the last video. So I can sign in to the application. Right now, all I have is just a blank component section here and the sign up button. What we're going to try and do this time around is a couple of things. We're going to try to take a look at a new tool that they have called the Admin UI and see how that works. And then the next thing we're going to do is just try to add some basic data to this application. So let's see if we can get that going. Let me zoom this in a bit because the font was a little small. Let's zoom this guy in. Also, if you like this content, please make sure you like and subscribe. So let's get started here in the console and say Amplify. I think the command is Amplify console. And we're going to say, which site do we want to open? We want to open up the admin UI. I think that's what we want to start with. Okay, and I can't sign in because I haven't created it that way. So I don't want the admin UI. Let's do this again. Amplify console. I want the Amplify console first. So I come into the Amplify console because I haven't set up an admin UI. And see here it says, this is what I want to get access to. So go to admin UI management to enable. So enable admin UI in all environments. Let's turn that on. And so now it's enabling the admin UI for this application. That's what this ID is. So once this gets all set up, I'll get a nice admin UI that I can start to manage my information with here. So let's let this run. Okay, so now the admin UI is enabled. And let's go to it. So here we are. Let's open up the admin UI. Okay, so we're back and it has set up our model. So it says it's deployed. Right now, anyone can create this. We'll focus on authentication a little bit later to try to show how that works. But for now, let's just talk about getting some data out of here. So here it gives us some instructions on what we need to do to get the latest changes that we did here inside the admin UI pulled back down to our app. Because remember last time we did it the other way. We structured everything here and then we pushed it up. So let's try this and see if we can just copy this command and pull this data. Okay. So it successfully pulled the changes from my schema down to my application. So you can see here it says that we had the authentication API, which is set up, and then now we have the data API, which is set up. And here it says successfully generated models. Generated models can be found in Ionic Vue source. So let's take a look and see what we got. So if I go to source models, here's all the information on the models that were created. So let's quickly add some code to see if we can get our models to show up in our UI. And we're going to, once again, follow the documentation as provided by us here. It says, for more information, look to the docs for JavaScript. And so, yes, we want JavaScript. Let's select the model, our model's task. We don't want to create one now. We're just going to say, here's how you query one. So this is the code for how you query a task. So let's go back here into our home component. This is where we have our logged in state. We're going to quickly change this to say tasks, tasks, and then we'll just put the username up there on the same line so we get all that stuff on the same line. And what we're going to do underneath here is we'll just render a list of tasks. So let's come down, and what we're going to do is on mounted, we're going to check this thing. And we're going to query some data. So how do I want to do this since I'm just kind of throwing it in? Let's just put it, all right. And it says here we have our model. So let's copy this over and let's add this up top here under our models. All right, so let's start to use some of these values. So down here, this is all you need to do, query some data. Let's just add it into our getData method. Nobody's calling getData right now, but let's have, let's see, change. So my hunch is that this code will get called when we have a user. So let's just do this. If user.value, then we will query some data, get data. And this is asynchronous, so let's add async. Get data. Let's, it says sole prompt, so let's move my on mounted to the end. Bring this down here to the end. If we get the data, let's do this. Let's say tasks.value equals models. So if we get some data back, we'll set our tasks, and now let's create a const for that. Const tasks equals ref any, and then this is going to start out as an empty array. Results from query. So let's save it like that. And let's run this and see what we get. Go back to our application. All right, failed to compile. Hold on. There you go. Looking in the wrong place. Okay, so it's up and it's running. I didn't tell it to do anything with my models. That's why we can't see anything. So let's return our models here. Not our models, our tasks. Tasks, right? Tasks is what we want to return. Right? Yeah, tasks. All right, now, and then let's just dump them here in our UI to see if we have anything. Go to div. Okay, now why did it not find tasks? Let's take a look at my query. Let's see, where am I? Oh, you want to know what I realized? I didn't actually put any tasks in. So let's go back to our console. The other cool thing about this is like you can actually manage your content here in the admin UI. So let's go over to my content. And it says, here's everything that's laid out. It's kind of fetching what's there. So let's auto-generate some seed data. Let's just add 3 rows. It's not very good because it put, I guess it's because the type I made. So that is why, because if you cancel, because I didn't specify a specific type, it just put these random strings in here. And I didn't do that because I wanted to just use normal string dates. Let's leave that this way for now. Fix that and when we show you how to actually add items. The purpose of this really is just to show you how to query the data. So now that we have some sample data in there, let's go back to our application and refresh it. And you can see we're getting our data back. So what we want to do now is let's just quickly clean this up and put it into a list, and that's where we'll wrap this video. In the next video, we'll talk about creating actual objects, and maybe we'll use a real form. So let's just go up top here, and let's use our good friends, our Ion list. Okay, so we have something that looks a little bit better than what we had before. Let's kind of fix some warnings that I know are going to be there because I did not import anything. So Ion list, Ion item, Ion label. Let's go down and add them onto the end of my components. Let's format this. And so we showed how we quickly got, let's put the ID in there too. Well, that ID is kind of big. I didn't think it was going to be that big. So let's bury it at the bottom. So let's go and put it at the bottom. We just wanted to put the ID in the UI because we're going to use it to show as we transition to the next page. So we'll just put it down here, put that like that, and we'll just throw some quick style, text, font size, FONT. Am I not doing this right? Let's go down here and try it this way because then I'll know I'll get it right. So let's do style. And then let's say font size smaller. And then let's go up here and change this P to ID. I don't think I want to do this. I guess that is smaller. Thought we can get it. Let's try smallest. E-S-T. X small. There you go. So that's what we wanted to get. So we showed that we are able to pull data back. And then the next step that we want to do is show how to actually add some data. So we'll just have a little pop-up that will display that'll show you how to actually add the item. So what we covered here was how to integrate the Admin UI Console, which is what we have here. How you can see, let's get this thing loaded up. How you can kind of see what's done here. So it shows that I deploy the data model. I can view my data model. I can add relationships. I can add fields. We're going to do security. We're going to do some security next time around. You can also manage your users. You can see the users that are added here. And as I showed you, you can manage your content. And that's what we got for today. So this was a short one. The next couple ones will be just quick, short, and to the point. But the highlights are added data, showed how to query data by using just a simple data stored query. We showed how to create data models using the Admin UI. And we're going to use more of the Admin UI for managing more of the content and modifying our view model. So we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.